Hey everybody, hope you're having a great weekend. It is Saturday, February 27th, closing out the month of February here with a little stock market update. I'm going to touch on AMC and its closing price at 801 as there is a lot of option significance there. And then we're going to look at the stock market as a whole, looking at potential moves from this next week, whether charts suggest that it's going to keep going up or it's going to pull back. As the COVID-19 relief bill also went through the U.S. House of Representatives. So there's definitely news in the weekend that will impact the markets come futures open on Sunday and definitely market open Monday morning. So let's go over to Thinkorswim and we're going to start with AMC. So as you tell at the top, it closed at $8.01. So if we come actually down here to chart, you can see the algos tried to push this thing down really hard within the last 10 minutes of the day. But buyers came in down in the 7.85 area, higher volume than most of the day, or on a minute wise for power hour, especially, and down here in 11's back to nothing. But good size volume, buyers come in, get to close above $8, and then after hours, it stays up above 8. Hit up to 8.4 and 8.2. And that $8 was significant as there was 150,000 call options that expired at $8 or below. So those strike prices are exercised, and that means that 15 million shares have to be bought for AMC. And there's a lot of talk on different things on Reddit, different forums, saying that this was going to trigger the gamma squeeze. But I remember at the end of January when everything ran. So if we go back and look at the chart here, that's kind of bad because it's literally that one day. Let me change this real quick to 30. So 30-minute chart. But if we just go here to Friday, January 29th, if you remember, like the big talk there was like, oh, this thing has to close above $13, and then the last day, very similar move happened that did on this Friday, where the algos, hedge funds, institutions, whatever you want to call them, send the price down lower in the last 10 minutes of the day, and then buyers came in really hard and propped this thing over $13. Everybody's saying that was going to trigger the gamma squeeze. Then didn't, as we know, long term for the next month, but it did cause a pretty significant gap up over the weekend into Monday morning's open. So closed at 13.3. We get a gap, first thing gap on futures for Monday. All hit a high at $18, right, and then made a move pre-market, and then sold off and just faded for the rest of the week, right? So closed Monday basically where it did on Friday, 13.32, and then after hours. Monday, Tuesday, just completely sold off, and we're down in the 7.75 area, low at $6. But that means that there is proof that this call option exercise will give a significant price movement to the stock this Sunday, and that could be a sizable gap up if you are holding the stock right now. So that could look to be in play as it goes forward. But I think part of that is it's only 15 million shares, right? So everybody's buying and holding. So the whole strategy is everybody's got diamond hands. Everybody's going to hold forever. And these 15 million shares aren't going to be able to be found. But if we just look for that Monday after the 29th, so here February 1st, 434 million shares were traded in that one day. So if we go to Friday, so Friday we actually had a significantly drop in volume from Thursday. So Thursday we had 445 million shares. Friday 137 million shares. So that it is looking at they would potentially have to buy. That's basically 1/9 of the share amount that was traded on Friday. So just to be dependent on how much volume the stock wants to trade on Monday, whether that 15 million shares is extremely significant or not. Obviously 1/9 is quite a bit more than what's 15 goes into 435, almost 29 times. So a pretty sizable difference in percentage there. So we'll have to see if buyers or sellers come to play on Monday. And it'll be interesting, right? Because I don't think the retail mania is over or ending anytime soon, especially with the next round of supposed stimulus checks coming out. So that's what we'll jump to now. We will jump over to the S&P 500 index, so SPX. So there's going to be a ton of lines on this. I've had lines on this for a long time, especially when it dropped back in March, drawing stuff out. And then I just edited them earlier today just to see potential moves. But if you just go back to, say, the quarterly, I don't know why that the volume part's not back up. But you see basically this thing, since 2009, basically a straight tear up, a couple little blips red here and there. But SPX, there's all these indices by design are made to go higher, right? So the S&P 500 largest companies. So if a company is doing bad, they just take it off the list and they put a new one on, right? So when Tesla got added, they took off the lower performing stock. So obviously Tesla's been hot, large gains. So that's going to prop the price of the indice higher in the according ETS when the ETS had to buy these stocks to add them at the correct ratios. So just long-term wise, so talking about maybe a correction or market top scenario with rates, the financing the debt, everything that could be happening, inflation, yada 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 from the Fed, right? So there's a lot of fear and fear-mongering going on. Whether that's right or wrong, nobody really knows until something happens. But as you can see here, so just drawing this 100% fib, this yellow set right here, 3950 down to the low from March. To even get down to the 78.6 fib, we'd have to drop below 3600, and then basically hit the top of this candle here from the July quarter. So we haven't really moved down that much yet, all things considered. And then if you just look here, I'll zoom back out to RSI, right? So this thing's been overbought. Basically, the end of Obama's presidency into Trump's first 2.5 years. I mean, this is way over in overbought land. But when they were talking about rate changes here, right, this big red candle is when the Fed mentioned in October that they were going to start raising rates. Huge tanking of the market. So that could be a fear right now with the 10-year Treasury yield, the bonds going on right now. But we'll have to see. But as you can see right now, we poked back into overbought area of the RSI. So we could look to see this push lower, and then we can just go jump out to the monthly. So definitely we're wicky here on the monthly. The last 2 months, big wicks higher. When we dropped at the beginning of 2020, so January this is February here. So February and March had two big wicks on the top of it, and you can go back to 2018 right here, which this one, the beginning of the month. January had a big wick on it. So kind of these wicky indications that the stock could potentially move lower. We got it here September, October, and we had that downtrend pre-election. So that could be a sign it's going down. And then if you look here, RSI getting really close to overbought. And then if we go to the daily, we'll just look at the daily chart. I think it more significant for potential for next week. You'll see if we zoom in quite a bit, where we toyed with these 9 and 22 day moving averages, sold off hard below it on Thursday, and then tried to touch it again here on Friday, but sold off pretty hard, and then got a bounce off the 50-day moving average, which was the support zone at the end of the month of January. So we'll see if we can stay above that going into tomorrow and into next week. But so the 50-day EMA is acting as support right now. Probably just go back out to weekly, see what's next, right? So basically close right on this 9 weekly EMA, and then also in the weekly support, you're going to have basically a 100 point drop to find any support on the weekly down in here from this January low week at the end of that month as well. So I think if this does have continued downward momentum. We're kind of looking at 3720, 3700 as support area lower. So let's see what happens this upcoming week, how the markets react to the COVID relief bill. If you've read into that and looked into it very much, they passed it late last night, like 1 a.m., which is never a good sign for anything in Washington to be done late at night with really nobody watching it. I haven't read any really into any of it really. Probably read as much of it as most of the congressmen that are elected officials. But there's, I think, whatever side of the political spectrum you're on, most people aren't going to be happy. I think a lot of the stuff in there doesn't really go to the Americans and citizens that need support right now. And then, the Biden's promising the Georgia send-off that they're going to get $2,000. I guess that's a sum total because they're looking to include $1,400 relief checks. So whether or not that actually is significant in saving families will be need to be seen, or whether or not that's going to be stimmies for the Robinhood traders to fuel some more market mania. We'll have to figure out. So that's what I got for you in this video. Hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm going to put out some videos tomorrow, probably on earnings plays. We've got a lot of earnings this week, and then maybe another update on, say, cannabis stocks, EVs, or Bitcoin plays. So if you have a preference on one of those, please let me know in the comments. And I hope you all have a good one, and we'll see you in the next